Hello, folks. I am back, and I hope you've been enjoying the shorts that I've been putting out. A lot of it has music on it. A lot of the music I put in the background is from what I grew up with. I grew up with a lot of different various artists, and that's what I put on there. Whether it's from rock to R&B, that's my particular style of music. So let's get right to it. If you need anything like such as belts or accessories, go to Core Essentials website. They have a array of battle belts, other type of gears, watches, etc. But you can do this once you get there. Use my discount code. It's Keenan10. It's capital KEANON and the number 10 all together, and make sure you get that code right. Check on the below description so you can see the proper spelling and the number next to it so you can get that 10% off. So without further ado, we're going to get into the review. It's going to be on the Sig Sauer P320 AXG Legion. That is a mouthful, but I will say this. I had a lot of experience with the AXG Legion because I shot the rental ones for a while at my place of work, but I decided I really wanted one because I liked the way it shot. So I had a AXG Pro. I wanted both. I wanted it, but I decided I would have to trade in that AXG Pro. I couldn't keep both of them. So this is what I went with. Let's show clear here for the YouTube gods. A lot of people don't like me to do this, but it is what it is, and it's a matter of safety with them. So this is the AXG Legion. You could tell by the way it looks and the coloring, etc. And the most important thing that people are talking about is this compensator, or what SIG calls an expansion chamber. So let's go through some stats here. It's going to be a 9mm firearm, and it does come with 321 round mags, which is a really good bargain there. It has X-ray day-night sights on here. The footprint, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. The footprint is going to be what they call the Delta Point Pro footprint. It used to be that some of the earlier models just only accepted the Delta Point Pro, and it was pretty much restricted, but I've seen people with a lot of different optics on it. So furthermore, the overall length here is going to be 8.2 inches, and the overall width from here to here is going to be 1.6 inches with a height of 5.5 inches. The barrel length, which is interesting enough, is going to be 3.9 inches. And if you look at the slide, if you're looking at the slide, you would think it's longer, about like 4 inches or somewhere, and close to 4 to 5 inches. But actually, the barrel is back here, and it gives room so that the gases from the expansion chamber, as they call it, there's that gap in there. Let's also talk about the weight. It's a 36.1 ounces. And that sight radius is going to be, I believe it's going to be 5.9 inches. Let me check that sight radius real quick here, because I think I wrote that wrong. Yeah, 5.9 inches is the actual sight radius. So it is right there. That's a decent sight radius for your long shots. One of the things I liked about the 320 line, and I know a lot of people are going to start talking about the 320 drop issues, etc. I'm not going there. So, and there's also been some other issues that people have been talking about, is the polymer frame 320s. There were incidences where the cracking or whatnot under stress under certain rounds. Supposedly they fixed that problem, but I have seen some incidences as a range safety officer that I saw where an extractor blew out, cracking a frame. I saw that some time ago on the M17 a while back. But what I like about the AXG frame or the TXG frames, to me, it's a little more secure. It's a frame that reminds me of the P226s, which I'm a big fan of. And speaking of the P226, happy anniversary. The P226 is in its 40th year, and on the uh, 6 Hour website, I believe they are doing something special about the P226 today. You got to check the website for it. I didn't get a chance to look at it, but happy birthday, P226. So going back to this firearm, I really like shooting this firearm a great deal. And it's one of the things I fell in love with when I was shooting the rental. Now I have my own. One of the things I like about shooting it, like I said, it does feel like a 226. But when I fired this firearm, I noticed that when the slide comes back, and a lot of people are going to ask, do I have any flippiness with this slide coming back? I didn't notice it unless I have a good camera where you could see in slow motion. Maybe that will be seen. But to me, when I'm looking at the sights here and here, it didn't seem like the sight tracked off and then I had to bring the firearm down as I was shooting. It didn't seem like it was that kind of motion at all. It seemed like it was a push, and I described this before when I was talking about the PDP 5-inch, is that the slide seems to go back in a push, in my opinion, like a 1911 would. And that's what I base my shooting experiences with, comparing it to a 1911. A lot of people base striker fire experiences with the Glock. So with that said, I kind of seen how these sights did not, in my opinion, from my shooting stance, that it did not flip at all. And a lot of people will say that's that's impossible, but it just appears that way. Now, from what I can tell, it has a lot to do with the weight and the slide, and also with the expansion chamber. Now, you would say, well, does it make a big difference if the expansion chamber is on there? Can you feel a difference? Actually, I'm going to be honest with you, I can't feel a difference. Again, you would have to go like on the Humble Marksman's channel. He does a real good job explaining what these expansion chambers do. And he does a video comparison. I encourage you to watch that video, how it goes straight back, and then these shows some movement. All firearms are going to flip up to a degree, but it's good to really watch that video. But from my hands, it looks like it's not even moving at all. The way I do my grip is I come up high, and of course, a lot of people have that problem with SIGs, HKs, and also PDPs, is where they have their thumb in the area right here where the slide won't lock back. I've not had any issues with that on this firearm at all. High grip, right in. My thumb doesn't reach the slide lock or slide release. And for a reference point, a lot of people use gas pedals. There are a lot of gas pedals with 320s in general that you can have your thumb here. I tend to just leave my support hand thumb on the side here. It's a good reference point for me where I have my grip and when I start to shoot. So I really don't need a gas pedal. I just like to hold right here, and it fits perfect for me. Anybody else can do what they want to do, and one of the other things are the features. I like the front checkering feature here, even though I don't use it. I think it's a good aesthetic. You have checkering here, even though it doesn't go all the way from down to all the way up and down. It's perfectly fine for me. There's a nice undercut right under here, which is pretty decent. The grips, I believe, are a G10 grip. And if you notice, The new Legions now, they changed up on their grip panel, so they don't have that medallion in the center. So you have a Legion logo right here. Some of the grip panels, the grip panel from here to the rear gives you good traction in here and right here. Another good thing is for people that have 1911s, a lot of people don't like those hex screws. Well, this has the regular slotted screws, so you can easily change out the grips. Now, there are a lot of good grips on the market, particularly Lock Grip, capital L-O-K grips. Their grips are very good. They already make a palm swell aluminum grip, and I'm considering doing that. But I like, in some ways, I don't want to do it because I like this rugged look that it has right here. One of the other upgrades I'm thinking about is getting a light under here, and I will probably, now I am a irons person. I do have firearms that do have red dots on it, but I'm thinking about putting the new Romeo X on here. The new Romeo X is their new optic that supposedly is similar to like a holosun, where you have the circle and the dot, and it looks like the target, or you can switch over to a dot. So I'm curious about that, because that is supposed to be the new one. It's supposed to be the one that the military supposedly are putting on the M17s and the 18s. But I'm very curious. I haven't seen one in person yet, but I might just consider getting one and putting it on there. If I don't like it, I'll take it off. But I want to do that just to see how good this optic is, and also, of course, to give you guys a good report. So let's go with some shooting impressions about this. Here is my target. First shots was shot at 7 yards, and then I progressively moved back to 15 yards. So a lot of the shots here, for some reason, when I put the sights even here, it seemed like I was hitting high. So these actually in this area were my first shots. And then I think it takes a slight 6 o'clock hole for me to stay in the center. So like I said, these were my first initial shots were up here. And then as I started moving the sight a little bit at a 6 o'clock mode, I could stay in the center in here. One of the things is from close distance, like what I mean close at 7 yards, I think I was shooting high. As I shot further back, I think it moved back after I tried to do this 6 o'clock hole. This one, as you see, is off. That's a grip issue. And this was a grip issue, absolutely, because I felt myself flinch. So I think I had 3 shots here on flinching, right in here. I try, whenever I shoot anything that's anywhere between 15 and 25 yards, my goal is to stay within the 9 range. The only thing I can say more about this is that I'm going to say this is going to probably be a little bit of a bold statement. I like the 320s. I know they have their issues and whatnot. I haven't really had any problems with any of my 320s. I will not buy any of their polymer ones. If I do decide to buy a 320 in the future, it's definitely going to be an AXG or TXG frame. It's something about those frames that I really like. Right now, to date, and this is really hard for me to say, I really like the X5 Legion. I thought that was probably the best SIG striker-fired firearm, but I'm going to say this has somewhat dethroned the X5 Legion. So I'm going to have to compare them again in the future to do another video, but I think they're pretty much neck and neck. I think this has a little bit more of an advantage. So with that said, happy shooting, stay safe, #2A.